Evening. Synthase is raising $5 million and it's Series C at a price of $7.50 a share. And we're expecting this to be our last raise before taking the company public in 2 years' time. I'm Greg Moss-Smith, the fairly fresh CEO, and has come to Synthase with more than 20 years of senior executive experience in developing biotechnology companies, a lot like Synthase. Including running commercial operations for the successful Australian-listed biotechnology company GrowPep, which I joined when it was about the same size Synthase is now, 12 people. We took that up to an ASX listing 2 years later, and continuing growth from our industrial products over the next 5 years, and eventually acquired off the exchange by a major Danish company, Novozymes. I then went to work for Novozymes, joined their management team, and was responsible with the team of merging up 4 companies, including our own, to form a new operating business for Novozymes called Novozymes Biopharma, 150 people, about $65 million US turnover, growing at about 15% a year at that point. So I guess the point I want to make is what Synthase is doing, I've done before, and I know what it needs to do to a large extent to do that. I know what good looks like. I've only got 10 minutes, so there's a lot of slides in this deck I'm not going to be able to cover. And what I'm planning to do is skip through, but I'll start with a short video we've made for sending to our foreign investors, just introducing the company and what we're about. This should fire.
Introducing Aloxin, an innovative enzyme that stops cell death. A major cause of cell death is lipid peroxides, or LPOs, molecules formed when biological systems are stressed. LPOs destroy cells, creating an explosive cascade of cell and tissue destruction. Destroying cells is not good, especially when trying to extend the life of semen, embryos, blood, or other tissues. Destructive LPOs are also a source of the chronic inflammation associated with diseases like diabetes, Alzheimer's, cardiovascular disease, and aging-related conditions. While several antioxidants like vitamin C can inhibit lipid peroxide formation, these are generally ineffective because they are destroyed in the process and poorly targeted. This makes them impractical to use. Aloxin works in a completely different way. It doesn't just inhibit lipid peroxides, it eliminates them as they are formed. What's more, Aloxin is highly active and not destroyed in the process. One molecule eliminates thousands of LPOs. One small, long-lasting dose also minimizes the potential for side effects. Embryos are very sensitive to stress and handling damage. Aloxin has been shown to be safe and effective, increasing embryo yield a massive 35%. And producing healthy pregnancies. We expect to launch our cattle fertility product in the middle of 2019. We are working with the largest dairy farm in Arizona to prove this product in a 5,000 cow trial. This trial requires both scale and exacting management. Synthase has assembled a multidisciplinary team of specialists to make it happen. We have completed the 8,500 treatments necessary. Aloxin will produce higher pregnancy rates to speed up the rollout of elite genetics and provide higher margins for genetics companies. Higher conception rates means more calves, more milk, and bigger profits for dairy farmers. Synthase is ambitious. We will be the first New Zealand company to take a recombinant protein like Aloxin to a commercial scale. We will extend from animal to human applications and are looking at major opportunities in blood product and organ preservation. At Synthase, we're committed to extending life.
So hopefully what you will have got from that is that the film tells us that toxic lipid peroxides are a big opportunity. But what it doesn't tell you is that our molecule Aloxin is probably one of the only viable solutions to that. Now, it's all about the specificity of its action and its potency, And I'm happy to expand on it later in question time if anybody's interested specifically in it. But it is probably the only viable solution in living systems. So over the last 2 years, we've developed our manufacturing systems for this product and two products, our semen activation product and an embryo culture product. Both these products are on track for sales launch early next year. Each of them has the potential to contribute eventually sort of $10 million plus in revenues from each of these product lines, along with other products which we are rolling out progressively behind these. So on the basis of that, we're expecting a break-even on operations the year after launch, so it's another year's time. And in 2 years, in financial year 2021, we should have sales in the low to mid-millions and be forecasting a doubling within 3 years. So in that year, in financial year 2021, we plan to list on the Australian Stock Exchange, targeting a valuation well north of 65 million Australian. And this would provide Series C investors with a multiple of more than 3 times money in 2 years or so. Why do we intend to take the company public? First of all, alloxin has many potential uses. Most are more valuable than what we're currently working on, but most of them also are more expensive to develop. And the fact is that this company can use a lot of capital and create a lot of value. Second, if we're going to maximise value for shareholders, we can't plan on being acquired before we need the growth capital to be injected. We would be much happier to be considering a takeover offer in the basis that we had a real alternative. And we can make an ASX listing happen. I've been involved in doing it before. We can raise the capital we need, and if there happens to be a good offer before then, well and good. And indeed, as we showed with GrowPep, you can be acquired off the market, and as we were 40% premium to the market. So being listed is no barrier to subsequent strategic acquisition. And in fact, what you see with these companies is until you get into that kind of a size where they've got valuations north of 100, 150 million, 200 million, they don't really become acquisition targets by big, large companies which will give you the value you want. So we've got to get to that kind of scale. And finally, we believe there's a lot of unpriced value in Synthase from the drug development opportunities of this molecule. None of the valuations we've talked about or modelled into our company at this stage include the value that could come from successful drug development. But the fact is that is a completely different kind of risk and attracts different kinds of investors. So through the listing process, we are looking to implement a mechanism that both capitalises our industrial products business, the current business, and puts the capital into the drug development business and separates the two, while ensuring that existing shareholders benefit from the upside should any drug subsequently succeed. This is where the money goes. 5 million will fund us for 2 years and enables us to complete and launch these 2 products, which are close, and bring a third one through to the market and prepare the company for subsequent listing. That's it.